school basketball. Tonight, the East Islip Redmen take on the Eagles of West Babylon. This League 3 matchup is next on the Long Island Sports Network. Hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Landers along with Stan Kellner. Well, Stan, on paper, it looks like this is a mismatch. Last time they played, it was a 40-point victory for West Babylon. This East Islip club has struggled, but they've been playing a lot better of late, and they come off a win over Central Islip.
Well, they've got to attack. East Islip has to attack West Babylon's half-court press. Ray Montero's ball club is coming off, as you say, a nice win against CI, a tough CI team. And what he's got to do, Ray Montero, is get his team to play together and score. They're shooting so poorly from the field, 32%.
And averaging only 48 points a ball game. They have some young players up in the front court that are going to be blossoming. They hope that one of them, Kip Rogendorf, a 6'5 junior, is going to really come into his own next year.
Well, the big lefty played as a sophomore on the varsity. He can shoot, plays a little uptight, but he's got to score early. Right now, the Redmen have to get the feeling that they can win this ball game. The only way they're going to do it is get some inside offense, and Kip has to do the job.
Turnovers have plagued this club. As you mentioned, not only poor shooting East Islip, they're going to have to get a big ball game from their point guard, Steve Bowden. On the other side, West Babylon, a club that has excellent guards, the outstanding pair, Mike Brennan and Mike Spinelli, and they're a club that scores a lot of points, Stan, and they play pretty good basketball.
Well, Mike Brennan is a blue-collar star. Not much was expected from this kid scoring-wise, but he goes to the basket so well, and he goes to the glass so well. A lot of his offense, half of his offense is off the offensive board, and he's only 6 feet tall.
Well, they have some scoring from the bench. They've got some big players in there. David Miles is one of them, and of course you've got Billy Kiles, another outstanding player for West Babylon.
Well, I like David Miles. I mean, David Miles. I mean, he is so big and strong and wide body inside, and he's better against the big ball games. And today is a big ball game because West Babylon needs this game to make the playoffs this year in League 3.
Let's take a look at the keys first of all for East Islip, the Redmen, to pull off the upset.
Well, they have to keep they got to keep West Babylon from driving to the hoop. Certainly play tough inside. They got to cut down on turnovers. That means attack that 1-3-1, but if they don't have it, to take it out and run the ball club offensively. What West Babylon's got to do is sustain their defense, and that means pressure. They've got to utilize the height advantage of the offensive board. Watch David Miles. He has to be a major factor tonight.
All right, so the stage is set for tonight's showdown. And our colleague Carl Reuter returns with the coaches in just a moment. You're watching high school basketball on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Jerry McDougall. We're celebrating the opening of 3 new Apple Bank branches with exciting offers and free gifts. Come join the celebration at our new Ronkonkoma office on Veterans Highway. Open a new savings account with $1,000 or more, and this cuddly puppy bank is yours. Open a new CD and receive a high rate plus one of these valuable gifts. Remember, Apple's got it all, and it's all for you. Apple Bank for savings, we're good for you.
Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network, bringing home winning moments.
Carl Reuter courtside with Jim Lynch. To my left, coach of West Babylon. To my right, Ramon Montero, the coach of East Islip. And Ramon, it's obviously been a tough year, but the kids are still playing hard, aren't they?
Yes, they're trying. We have 8 underclassmen, or 8 people who aren't seniors, so they'll be back next year. Should make the nucleus of a good club, I hope.
What happened the first time around? I mean, it was a tough loss to them. You lost by some 40 points. So what do you want to do today? You've got to close that gap, and that's a lot of gap to close.
Well, West Babylon always is well coached, and they always play aggressively. And I don't think we played aggressively enough. We're missing one person and another person for another quarter, but that didn't make enough of a difference. They played aggressively. They came out to win. We didn't. Hopefully we'll play a little better this time.
You got a rabbit to pull out of that hat?
Don't have a hat.
Ramon, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Let me turn around. Jim, most important ball game for you because
Yes.
the playoffs are upcoming.
No question. If we win today, we're in the playoffs, and if we lose today, we can still make the playoffs, but we have to beat Newfield at Newfield on Thursday, which is a difficult task.
And, of course, you don't want to get into that situation.
No way. The boys want to do it today, and hopefully we can. If we play our defense like we played the first game, I think we'll have a good shot at it.
You really don't expect to have that same type of ball game where you're going to be by 40, though, do you?
No, absolutely not. Mr. Montero has always been a good coach for East Islip, and I know they're ready to play us today. We came out, and it'll happen during any course of high school events. You'll have one team that gets really hot one day, and that was our day. We were raring to play that day. We came right out in the first quarter and established ourselves, and from then on it was all our game. But I expect a much more difficult game today, no question.
All right, Jim, best of luck in today's ball game.
Thank you.
All right, and Stan and Barry will be back with the opening tip-off following this timeout. You're watching high school basketball on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can't imagine not doing it. It really helps having the kind of encouragement I've gotten here. It makes Adelphi feel like a small college. But I'm glad it's a big university with lots of courses and career options, because I'm making choices that will affect my whole life. I'm excited about my future. In fact, sometimes I can't wait to graduate. It's sort of like running. Once you get started, you want to see how far you can go.
Adelphi University, a commitment to intellect.
Aloha. I'm Jerry McDougall, and I'm pleased to announce Apple Bank's exciting new sweepstakes, the Apple Aloha Stakes. We're giving away 25 fabulous deluxe vacations for two to beautiful Hawaii. Plus, there's 125 valuable runner-up prizes. You'll find entry forms at every Apple Bank branch. So come on in and enter now. The exciting Aloha sweepstakes are open to all. Apple Bank for savings, we're good for you.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Apple Bank for Savings. We're good for you. And by Adelphi University, a commitment to intellect. Well, hi again, everybody. Barry Landers along with Stan Kellner here at Northport High School, the scene of our showdown between East Islip and West Babylon. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for both clubs. For East Islip, the visiting club today, they do not have any scorers in double figures, but they have balanced scoring. And Steve Bowden and Kyle Rogendorf leading the way. And for West Babylon, Mike Brennan, the big scorer. He averages 18. Billy Kyle's inside 14. Said anything early that we should be looking for as far as East Islip must do early to stay in this game?
Attack to 1-3-1. The Eagles of West Babylon set up. They've got to believe in themselves, and they got to get a basket early to make sure that they play with some kind of confidence.
All right, East Islip comes up with it. Glenn Ferrer is number 10. Number 13 is Steve Bowden. Number 22 is Michael Brooks. Nice pass and a little soft shot by Kip Rogendorf will not drop. He follows it again. The lefty missing. That's been a problem. Poor shooting as Mike Spinella brings it across. Mike Spinella over in the corner, and it's good for Billy Kyles. 6 foot, 155-pound junior, averaging 14 points a ball game.
Kyle shoots makes half his baskets from the field, about 50%. Making that first bucket really builds up his confidence.
Lob inside, out of bounds, off the hand of Keith Smith. And East Islip turns the ball over. There's a look at Jimmy Lynch, the coach for some 20-odd years, I guess 16 years at West Babylon, and quite a coach, and he's got an outstanding son as a basketball player.
Jimmy Lynch from Islip doing a nice job running the club over there. But what Jimmy Lynch does well is he sets up that 1-3-1 press. He plays good defense. He describes and defines roles very well.
Bob Aquino makes it 4-0. 6-foot junior averaging 9 points, shooting 45% from the field. East Islip tries to break the press. Michael Brooks to the hoop, lays it up with the left hand to make it 4-2.
It was Mike Brennan who made that, it was number 33, Kip Rogendorf, who did that nice little loop pass that got the ball inside.
The Eagles with the ball, leading 4-2. Last time these clubs played, it was a 40-point win for West Babylon. Aquino missing. And as they battle inside the ball, knocked out of bounds, Mike Brennan went up and had it knocked out.
Well, that's what Brennan likes to do, go to the glass. He's got to be taken off. There's George Roth, former president of the Western Officials Association, Don Smith.
Mike Brennan missing. And East Islip coming up with the rebound. Keith Smith.
There's that 1-3-1 by West Babylon. It's a trap kind of a defense, but they also get into passing lanes and create all kinds of problems.
Michael Brooks, who can shoot. Steve Bowden will try for 3. Way off the mark. The follow by Rogendorf missing. He should have had that one.
Oh, they get inside shots. They just can't convert. As you said, 32% from the floor. I mean, it's atrocious.
Aquino popping. So Aquano with the bucket.
He's an excellent shooter from the zone. Baseball player. But what I like about him is he handles that defensive point for West Babylon.
Well, Ray Montero wants a quick timeout here. We have played just 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And in his 22nd year, Stan, he's had some outstanding clubs in the past. You remember them when you played against some of them back in the 70s.
It was really a tough win to go into East Islip's gym. Ray Montero, you know, he wears that lucky tie of his. It's a Bodero tie. He loves to go down to Arizona, and that's where he wants to retire when he retires. He's 53 years old. But I'll tell you, he's had his work cut out for him with these. He loves these kids that he's coaching this year, but they're just not aggressive.
Let's take a look at the records for the last 3 games for these clubs. East Islip lost to Belport, lost to Hauppauge, and then came away with that 3-point win over Central Islip. Their other win, that controversial victory over Belport. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. And for West Babylon, as we check their look at their last 3 games, a heartbreaking loss to Huntington by 1. They beat CI and blew out Belport in their last game.
They blitzed Jim McGowan's Belport club the first quarter. Can you believe it? 30-6. Impressive.
There's a look at Jimmy Lynch, 45 years old, and an outstanding record of 198 and 121. How about his assistant there, Stan?
That's Frank Taplin. Wants my job, or yours. But he's a guidance counselor, Frank Taplin, former coach at West Babylon. They got him back into the program. It's a second life for Frank.
East Islip with the ball. Keith Smith missing. And West Babylon with the rebound. So they're shooting poorly again. They're getting their shots, Stan, and getting pretty good shots inside. They're just not converting.
And getting a couple almost. They have to convert on those almost.
Mike Spinelli on the long rebound. Racing up court is Steve Bowden. 5'8" senior. Was a sub last year. Worked his butt off to win the starting job. Nice baseline pass handled by Glenn Ferrer, but he misses. Rogendorf misses again. Boy, it's like a brick up there.
Yeah, what they're doing is over-trying. They're trying to make the basket. And try is a 3-letter word for failure.
Up and in for Kyle. So Billy Kyle makes it an 8-2 ball game. Good pass inside. Bobby Aquano, or check it, Keith Smith fouled as he put it up. And he'll go to the line to shoot a couple. Well, East Islip able to break the press, but just missing good opportunities. That last foul on Davin Miles, number 51. And we'll get a substitution. Rogendorf will sit down, Stan.
Almost counting in horseshoes, but almost does not count in basketball. And it's a funny thing. They're getting inside, but their ball just isn't dropping.
Keith Smith, a 60% free throw shooter, averaging 8.5 points a game, misses. He'll get another one. There's Rogendorf with Ray Montero. Joe Walton, the son of Joe Walton, the Jets coach, is checked into the ball game. He's wearing uniform number 14, a 6'3", an 85-pound sophomore. Off the miss by Michael Brooks, the rebound to West Babylon as they yank it down and look to run.
Realistically, for East Islip to win, they got to keep the score in the 40s, which is almost an impossibility. They've only scored 40-plus points in the last 3 games, average.
Well, they average 48, and they get West Babylon to turn it over with some good defense here.
Oh, they work hard on defense.
4.5 minutes to go, first quarter. East Islip trailing 8-2.
They need a couple of their football players out here for basketball.
Missing as they battle inside, right into the hands of West Babylon's Mike Spinella. The 5'10" junior, who's an outstanding foul shooter. Mike Brennan. Open is Aquano. Doesn't get the roll, and Walton pulls the rebound down. They want Walton to be a little more aggressive. He's an outstanding football player. Quarterback on the East Islip Football Club for South Champion. Steve Bowden drives, and there's a look at Joe Walton. He's one of the outstanding students. He can block shots, post up, power player, Stan. They doesn't anticipate well on defense. That's the one thing Ray Montero would like to see him improve on.
He'll develop his post power-up moves and will be the player of the future. As you said, he's a sophomore, and he's shooting 50% from the floor. That's a good number.
He lacks experience, averaging 5 points and 4 rebounds. Off the turnover. Aquano baseline. Missed the easy one. Miles saves it.
Miles is some ball player. You know, he's 6'5" and strong. And it's a funny thing about Davin Miles. He comes to play in the big ball games.
Mike Brennan fouled by Joe Walton. And Mike Brennan, a scorer, a slasher, coming off a 26-point game against Bellport will go to the line right now.
You're going to see him drive into the middle. Number 33, Mike Brennan. And he goes to the basket. He loves a crowd, doesn't lose any of his poise when he's around people, takes a lot of punishment.
Scott Gazzola, number 11, has reported in for the Redmen. He's a 5'11", 170-pound junior, sitting down as Michael Brooks. As we look at Michael Brennan, averaging 72% from the line. Had 14 in the victory over East Islip earlier. High of 29, Stan.
Tough kid. Great student, too. You figure he's an overachiever on the floor. You're going to be an overachiever in the classroom. Blue-collar kid that's just expanded his role.
And Brennan so far with a total of 1 point in the ball game. Kyles has 4 and Aquano has 4. That's the 9 points they've scored, batted out of bounds. And East Islip retains possession. We'll re-identify the East Islip players for you. Rogendorf inbounding. This is Steve Bowden. Rogendorf. Oh boy, he's had tough luck. That was in and out.
It was in and out. You don't get the shooters bouncing unless you relax. A very tense wrist.
Mike Spinella chases the miss down. He's having a problem with his release, Stan, and maybe we can talk about it and we can pick it up a little later. Gavin Billy Kyles with the bucket. And it's now 11-2. So Kyles comes up with the bucket. He's averaging 14 a ball game.
The big difference in the shooting between Islip and Babylon is the fact that Babylon is letting it happen. Letting it happen means relaxed wrists and a shooter's bounce. Making it happen, well, then you got to start thinking defense. You can't make it happen. Tight wrist, flat shot.
Aquano cannot get it to drop. Bowden will bring it into forecourt.
Here's a tough kid, Bowden.
Penetrating more lately. Missed from outside. Glenn Ferrer saves it. Back out to Bowden. He'll not be shy about putting it up.
He's throwing it
up. They're not shy.
It's good to live life that way. It's good to live life so free. Life is so short and sweet.
Aquano blocked. Nice play by Rogendorf. Down court, they try to get it up to Gazzola. Scott Gazzola back out to Bowden. 11-2. East Islip trails by 9. Walton had it knocked away. And now we'll get 3 players coming in for East Islip. Michael Brooks coming back in the ball game along with Keith Smith. And number 35, Matt Whitehouse coming in. All 3 substitutions. Sitting down will be Scott Gazzola along with Steve Bowden.
I think it's a good move by Ray Montero to get some of his players on the bench. Let them get their poise and composure on the bench.
Almost intercepted Michael Brooks, who's 8.5-point scorer going baseline, and he drew the foul. George Roth making the call. And
Eagles are not emphatic on defense, Barry. They're not playing emotional 1-3-1. They're almost playing a business-like defense, and they're there to be beaten today. But let's face it, Ray Montero's club has to start nailing it home.
Gavin Miles will sit down. I believe Miles picked up his 2nd foul on that play. And he'll sit down right now. We've got a substitution in the game for West Babylon. Michael Brooks, a 60% shooter, will get another one. There's Miles, and he's a big physical specimen, Stan. 6'6", 220.
I'll tell you, his last name is a description of his neck. He is a big guy.
4 points for Brooks, coming off a 13-point effort against Central Islip in the 3-point win the other night. 11-4, 7-point lead for the Eagles. They've got the ball, 1:55 to go, knocked out of bounds. It'll still be West Babylon ball. 12-6 overall, 6-4 in league play. Huntington, the top team in the league, in a very tough League 3. Hopon lost a tough one to Huntington. They've just been getting by lately, Huntington, Stan. They beat West Babylon by a point earlier.
But Wayne Lackman and his coaching staff, he really activates a lot of his coaches to get involved in the program. Just seems to win those games. And once you can close off a game, you know how. You got a winning program.
Timmy Hoban missed the rebound of a shot by Billy Kyles. Hoban in the game, number 43. Boy, nothing dropping. Michael Brooks missing. Glenn Ferrer missing. They'll try again. They haven't quit. Keith Smith finally getting it to drop.
I think there's a barometer reading out there. You're looking at the guys in the red shirt there, the 2nd effort and 3rd effort, and the Eagles, hey, look, they know they won the first game by 40 points, and they are, they've got their very methodic and successful offense, but defensively, they're not coming to play.
Very astute comment, Stan. Bowden has it. And then as Spinella had it on the floor, ball knocked away. And it'll be Eagle ball. 1:02 to go. Steve McKenna, number 23, will trigger for West Babylon. 6', 160-pound senior. averaging 3 points. That's he with the ball. He's a defensive specialist, not a shooter, McKenna, but he'll shoot here and hit.
Yeah, what he did was he found the seam of the defense, a 2-3 defense, and went straight up.
And he'll also commit a foul, McKenna, on the other end. They're not in the bonus, so it'll be a non-shooting foul. I'll take it out on side court. 45 seconds to go, first quarter. The last time these clubs played, at the end of one quarter, it was 13-1 in favor of West Babylon, 34-9 at the half. So they're hanging tough here, down by only 7 at the moment. East Islip with the ball, they lose it. And we've got a foul call. Steve McKenna going down court, fouled, as the ball was lost by Matt Whitehouse. Michael Brooks commits the foul, that's his first. And we'll get another substitution here, number 44 coming in for East Islip, Jason Bond.
Well, unfortunately, the ball was taken away from Glenn Ferrari because he had no one posting in. And that's what happens when you don't play together and you make each other look good.
East Islip 2 for 17 from the field, 11%. West Babylon 6 for 16, 38%.
You know, they're playing on these glass backboards in a new kind of environment here. You know, neither team has a home court advantage.
Oh, nice power effort that time from inside for West Babylon's Mike Brennenstand. He followed the miss, and he slashes, gets points off the offensive boards, and we saw right there.
He's the kind of guy, if you're starting any kind of a business, you want him on your team. You know, he's a tough kid. He's not afraid to punish other people, too. He's got good, strong, athletic hands.
Again, they're not over the limit. 22 seconds to go, first quarter. West Babylon with the ball, leading 13-6. Spinella for 3, and it's 16-6.
You know, Spinella's only averaging 3 points a game, but he has a high of 15 against Babylon. And against Bellport, a great game for West Babylon. He had 3 3-pointers.
Largest lead of the ball game. Brennan, by the way, has 5 rebounds to go with his effort here in the first quarter. Timeout now with 12 seconds to go. We'll get a substitution. And George Roth talking things over with the official scorer there, Stan. What do you think they're talking about?
Well, it's nothing to do with the 3-point shot that just went up. It may be, it could be anything from possession to the arrow. You know, it's interesting about this arrow. It's Don Smith, the official out there, the gray official. That's George Roth. The gray-haired official was involved in that very interesting game where East Islip had one of its 2 wins against Bellport. We'll talk about it later.
Off the 3-point miss. All the way, knocked out of bounds on the drive that time as Mike Brennan. He had it knocked out with 2 seconds left. And it'll be inbounded by Steve McKenna. Time for a shot here. Mike Spinella counts if it goes. And the first quarter comes to an end with West Babylon leading by 10. We'll be right back. You're watching high school basketball on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Jerry McDougall, chairman of the board of the Apple Bank for Savings. To celebrate our 125th anniversary, we're offering high rates on CDs plus top quality gifts. Look at all you get. Your choice of valuable gifts is an additional dividend on our high rate CDs. Come in or call for more information, but make sure you take advantage of this special offer. Apple Bank for Savings, we're good for you.
You're just a heartbeat away from making a great deal on a 1988 Chevy at Majestic Chevrolet. Majestic is bursting with unbelievable deals, like the new Cavalier Coupe from only $67.26, or the Celebrity Sedan from only $96.44. Not enough? How about the new Spring from only $53.99? They're here, they're hot, and Majestic's got them. All backed by Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better. No one. Remember, for great deals and the service you deserve, Majestic Chevrolet's the dealer that's all heart.
We are back, and let's take a look at the standings here in League 3. As you can see, Huntington coming off the outstanding season last year. Put a T in there. We got Huntington. They're 10-0. Hauppauge 8-2. West Babylon 6-4. Bellport 5-6. And rounding out the rest, Newfield, East Islip, and Central Islip. But that Huntington team, Wayne Lackman's club, has managed to win every league game, although they've had some tough ones of late. Now, Eagles have made substitutions. We'll pick them up for you. Strong baseline move by Mike Brennan, and a foul will be called on the rebound. It'll go against Timmy Hoban, number 43. Here's Timmy, excellent defensive player, boxes out, plays the middle of his zone, averaging 2 points, a 6'2" senior. Had 8 points against East Islip the last time they played.
You learn you can't box out on offense.
Now another substitution coming in for the Eagles, checking into the ball game. Number 35, Joe Moore, 6'3", 170-pound senior, averaging 5 points, 3.5 assists, 2 rebounds. And he had a big ball game against Hauppauge recently. He's a backup point guard. He's a very quick player. Good peripheral vision, and we'll watch him in the ball game. Oh, nice drive by Steve McKenna. So they're getting help from the bench. McKenna making it 18-6.
No Redmen rotating to the ball.
McKenna, known as a defensive specialist. He held Darren Ward of Huntington to 5 points. Off the turnover. Again, they look to push it up. Mike Brennan. His club leading by 12. Mike Spinella for 3. And he gets the roll. He's the good outside shooter, an honor student. Bright, intense, heady. Played as a sophomore on the varsity. And he is a junior playing exceptional ball this year.
And starting to believe in himself, 20 feet away from the basket.
Keith Smith on the miss. And the rebound to Joe Moore. No second chances for East Islip here as they trail 21-6. Billy Kiles from the corner. What a surprise, Stan. This kid has really improved. He's grown. Maybe the best all-around player on this club if he continues to improve.
He's what we call in the coaching business a great surprise. I know Jimmy Lynch is very proud of the work that he's done to become the player, but he's shooting well. Again, you know, making half your buckets from the field, that's 50%. That's very, very respectable.
12-point run for the Eagles has given them a 23-6 lead, and we'll be back with more second quarter action. You're watching high school basketball on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Jerry McDougal. We're celebrating the opening of 3 new Apple Bank branches with exciting offers and free gifts. Come join the celebration at our new Ronkonkoma office on Veterans Highway. Open a new savings account with $1,000 or more, and this cuddly puppy bank is yours. Open a new CD and receive a high rate plus one of these valuable gifts. Remember, Apple's got it all, and it's all for you. Apple Bank for savings, we're good for you.
And our thanks to Apple Bank, Jerry McDougal and the fine folks for sponsorship. Well, we got some interesting things coming up in the halftime in the huddle with Stan Kellner and then Kip Lucarella, the Harborfield's lacrosse coach, who also is the Northport football coach. Remember Harborfield's great story last year? They nearly beat Ward Melville in the county championship, and Kip will be on hand with Carl Reuter. Should be an interesting halftime.
Eagles working a little bit on their man-to-man full court pressure.
Michael Brooks, number 22. Joe Walton is in the ball game, number 14. Nice swing pass, and finally Kip Rogendorf will buy a basket here.
They were playing man-to-man on a pickup, then they went into zone principles inside, and the defense of the Eagles saw all ball.
Rogendorf coming up for the steal. Throws it into the corner to Steve Bowden. Saved and out of bounds. Let's see who they give it. Mike Brennan had it go off. There's a look at Mike Brennan. Boy, he never stops hustling, does he?
Yes, and that's what the Red Men have to do offensively. They have to hustle for one another. They don't help each other out. There's never a good, clean post-up for whoever's got the ball has got to have an outlet.
Michael Brooks missing. Joe Walton following with the left hand, no good. And the rebound to Joe Moore, number 35. He had a triple-double against Hauppauge. 12 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds, Joe Moore. Boy, he's pretty tough. Steve McKenna has done some job coming in off the bench, Stan. 6 foot, 160-pound senior. We told you he was a defensive specialist, but he's banging the boards here.
Look at him go inside, just like his teammate, Mike Brennan. And Bob Aguano does a nice job from outside. But look at this guy going in, Steve McKenna inside. And he is just number 23. 3 points a game, not a scorer, but a super athlete. Loves to play defense.
Well, back in the ball game is Bobby Aquano, who you just mentioned, sitting down. Right now, doing a good job is Billy Kiles. Kiles leaves the ball game leading scorer with 8 points. Spinella has 6. McKenna has 4. And they are the leading scorers. He'll get another one after missing the first.
Football player, and the problem with East Islip, they got to get some of those gridiron guys out there to play that skill game of basketball.
Well, Sal Champy's got to get some of those because they used to have guys like that. Boomer Esiason played basketball for East Islip Stand for 3 years. Rogendorf missing. Walton will follow and miss inside. He should have had that one. And Joe Moore with the rebound. Boy, he picks up a ton of rebounds. Here's Brennan. And it's 25-8, a 17-point lead. Brennan with a total of 3 points in the ball game. Michael Brooks missing. Throws it out of bounds off the leg of the West Babylon player. And we'll get a substitution right now. Joe Walton will come out of the ball game. And for East Islip, checking in number 25, Keith Smith. Here's Stevie Bowden. And as he threw the pass inside to Keith Smith, we had a foul from behind, called by referee George Roth. Stan, how about this League 3? Huntington, obviously, they're doing great. They're now 11-0 after a win just the other day. Do you think that anybody's going to catch them? I know we'll preview all the leagues. Do they have a good chance to win the A championship this year in Suffolk?
I think they do have a good chance. It appears, that they're going to win their conference. I think they have a tie for their conference as of last Saturday. But there'll be 3 other teams, I think, that can vie for that championship, that A championship. I believe Huntington, certainly Walt Whitman, North Babylon.
How about Sachem?
Not North Babylon. Sachem, certainly, but I don't think North Babylon's going to be in the top 4 this year.
How about Frank Romeo's Comsowa club as Smith missed the second foul, and we had a foul called on the rebound.
That's right. I think they and Sachem could be the favorites now with Walt Whitman. If that front line of Walt Whitman, Jameson and Gugliotta do a great job, they're going to be unbeatable too. But it's truly an open tournament, but I don't think you're going to see NB in the Final Four.
A couple of Cinderella clubs, Copeg, Smithtown West. Smithtown West getting some great play from Chris Rooney at 38 points the other day. Another free throw coming for Mike Spinella. So averaging only 3 points, a high of 15 against Babylon. He has 7 points, and if he hits this, he'll tie Kyles for the lead in scoring so far tonight. He's got a good outside shot, just doesn't take it, Stan.
He doesn't take it because he's been delivering the ball so well to his teammates. But, averaging 3 points a game, coaches tend to forget about him on defense, and they lay off, and then they cover up Brennan on a double-up.
Aquano pulling up. Rogendorf recovers. Bowden to Brooks. East Islip trailing 27-9. 18-point deficit. Bowden missing. And that Steve McKenna comes up with yet another rebound. Here's Brennan. Nice body control. McKenna. They'll try again. Timmy Hoban. And he makes it 31-9.
Every Eagle was getting the ball, turning around, and going hard to the basket. Then they flood the boards with 4 white shirts.
This is Glenn Ferrer. Rogendorf. Michael Brooks missing. Strong rebound put up and no good by Keith Smith. And as he came down, we have a jump ball. It will stay in the hands of East Islip on the alternate possession. Again, Joe Walton reports back in for Ray Montero. It's a young club, this East Islip team. Very inexperienced, 6 juniors, 2 sophomores, so they're paying their dues this year, Stan.
Well, the sophomores are sitting on a bench. If you got sophomores, you might as well play them. And what Ray Montero, and he's been around, he knows this game. What he's got to do is make sure he's got experienced senior people. Right now, Bowden and Brooks are inexperienced guards, and they're seniors.
Brooks, and let's see, count the basket. Brooks will get the 2 and maybe 3. So Michael Brooks, a kid who takes chances, passing maybe a little inconsistent.
The foul is going to be outside, but the official, George Roth, is going to give him, well, the foul is on a shot, and it's a break. And that's what East Islip needs when you're shooting 32%. You need some breaks, some balls that shouldn't go in to go in.
Mike Brooks, who has 6 points, will step to the line looking for point number 7.
There's
Jimmy Lynch.
Yep.
Has replaced Steve McKenna in the ball game. And here's Mike Spinella. Does a nice job. I like the guards of this West Babylon team, Stan. They move the ball well. Although their defense was soft early, Mike Spinella from outside. Boy, if he can give him that shot consistently with the way Mike Brennan drives and slashes, what a combination.
Yep, and Davin Miles off the boards. Davin Miles, if he comes to play every game, he has a problem with motivation. He's got to motivate himself every second he's out there. A lot is expected of Davin.
Steve Bowden with the jump shot. And Bowden's first 2 points. It's 32-13, a 19-point lead for the Eagles. Kyle's pulling up in the lane. Boy, he's got a nice touch, that Billy Kyle, Stan.
And the red shirts are not getting in. They're not contending on defense. Now, you know something? East Islip only gave up 45 points in the last game. They can play defense, but they've forgotten how.
They're not playing it very well tonight. Hoban, the rebound for the Eagles. And there's a contingent of Eagle fans who've come over making a lot of noise here. There's a look at Joe Moore. Third foul on Joe Walton, who will sit down. It's not been a good first half for young Joe, who played JV last year as a freshman. Part of the crowd here. This was a West Babylon home game, moved here to Northport High School. And they've got a pretty good following, Stan, that came over here from West Babylon.
It's 4 o'clock game. They came over right after school. No Big Mac attack. They came right here to the ball game, and they're cheering on their team, and they got a lot to cheer for.
White shirts all over the backboard. Billy Kyles with the bucket after Timmy Hoban missed the free throw. It's 36-13. Kyles, the leading scorer, with 12. Spinella with 11. Right into the arms of Joe Moore. Oh, Hoban gets it to drop, and it's 38-13.
What's happening now, the red shirts are not getting inside and battling for the defensive boards, and you can see that. You want to have a real clear reading of how a team is going to play. You just watch them run back on defense, and you also watch them hit the defensive boards. And right now, the red men are not.
Why aren't they playing more of a slower tempo, Stan, the red men?
Well, yeah, slow tempo if you're ahead, but when you're behind, you got to play catch-up. Yeah, look at the shooting percentage, 16. You know what it is? And it's 16% making their shots. It's about 80% almost, and about the rest of the percentage is air balls.
And there's one missed. Glenn Ferrer still looking for his first point. They push it up court. Sal Vitiello. And it's 40-13.
That's what happens when everything goes well. I mean, you just can't do anything wrong.
2:08 to go. Oh, it's been a disastrous second quarter. Looked like Michael Brooks turned it over. Aquano trying to bounce it in for Joe Moore unselfishly, and the ball was kicked out of bounds.
What East Islip has to do is post somebody up in the middle and make it easy for the guards. The guards are struggling right now, and there's got to be somebody in the middle of this press, this really unrelenting press by West Babylon. But I think Jimmy Lynch has been around, and he knows how it feels to be on the losing end on a bench. Not that his team has lost that many times, but what he's got to do is take off that press.
Big guy, number 55, in for West Babylon, and we'll ask you to tell us a little bit about something, Stan. Al DeViti, a 6'7", 190-pounder, number 55. And as Michael Brooks drives, he drew the foul. He'll shoot two. What about this DeViti? Is he a prospect?
Yes, he is what we consider in the business a project. You know, it's somebody that he's a senior, and if he goes in off to college, somebody can work with him and make him a player. Here's Islip going, East Islip going to the basket.
Michael Brooks.
Almost, one of those almosts again.
Well, Brooks, who's the quickest player out there, drives pretty well. Not afraid to mix it up in the paint, go up for that shot, hits the free throw.
He had 13 points against CI earlier in the week.
And a high of 19 against Newfield. There's another player coming in, Keith Smith, number 25. Sitting down will be Kip Rogendorf. And we get a shot of the player wearing number 55 for the Eagles as we look at Michael Brooks. And that's the young man we just talked about, pulls down the rebound.
Well, he's 6'7", you know, you figure he's going to grow an inch or two.
Had 6 points, 7 rebounds against Bellport, Stan, in the last ball game.
Yeah, he's a late bloomer, which means that he has not played a lot of basketball. You know, shy, self-image was about 6'1", 6'2". He's got to realize that he's 6'7", and that, you know, life is short, and go out and enjoy yourself. Have an exciting time. Handsome young man.
Yeah, he looks like he's having fun right now. So is his club. They lead it 40-14 with 1:42 to go here in the first half. Well, Ray Montero's club has had all kinds of problems matching up against West Babylon this year.
Well, it's a lucky thing Ray Montero's wearing his lucky tie. Can you imagine what they'd be shooting without his lucky tie? Coaches tennis. Been around for a lot of years. And I'll tell you one thing, it was a tough win to go into the East Islip gym and get a W here.
Well, at the free throw line right now is Joe Moore. Excellent offensive rebounder. This is the free throw. He's averaging only 46% from the line. Not a good free throw shooter. Brooks out of control. Bowden fouled by Davidi. A little pumped up there, Mr. Davidi, Stan.
Yep, he knows the camera's on him.
And there's Ray Montero, 22nd year. He's a science teacher, went to Brooklyn College, played football there. Was a Stuyvesant High School grad. He teaches and coaches tennis and soccer at East Islip. He's been there a long time.
His best season, I think, was about 71, 72. And we played him that year, and we were undefeated that year. And I'll tell you, we came in there, it had to be a last-second prayer shot to beat East Islip.
Well, Steve Bowden now with 3 points. I think that was a team that had Ronnie Whitmire, Stan, who was all-county for a couple of years, then went on to play college baseball at Stanford.
Well, they've had their share of good basketball players, but what they've got to do is they got to draw from their football program, get some of these physical bodies out there.
Davin Miles. Oh, nice sweet touch for Davin Miles.
Well, from a coaching point of view, I hate to see a guy as a bruiser like him make that 16-foot shot, and then he's going to start thinking he's a finesse player.
Well, college coaches wouldn't mind that. Rogendorf missing. Good position on the rebound inside of Davidi. And Rogendorf puts it back home to make it 42-18. Rogendorf with 4 points.
What made that play possible was that East Islip posted up somebody in the middle.
Now West Babylon with the ball. Off the miss. Davidi will be in the box score.
Boy, he's making Jimmy Lynch look like a bad coach. Where is this kid? How come he hasn't been playing all season? Coach, the project is over. He's a player.
36 seconds to go in the first half. Ray Brown in the ball game for the West Babylon Eagles, lost out of bounds by Michael Brooks. So an embarrassing situation here for these gutsy East Islip kids. They're a feisty bunch, but they're outmatched here today by the Eagles of West Babylon. 44-18 as we approach halftime. Ray Brown is uniform number 21 in the ball game, and a traveling violation is called on Sal Vitiello, the 5'9" senior, who replaces Spinella at the point. Averaging a couple of points to go with an assist, so he's used just about everybody, Stan. Everybody on the West Babylon roster has gotten in here. Rogendorf with the left-hand baseline shot.
You see a wrist now, it was relaxed because the team is behind. He's not worrying about making a shot.
6 points for Rogendorf, 5 seconds left. Joe Moore, and what a way to end a near-perfect first half. A three-point shot. It's 47-20. They lead by 27 at halftime.
2 games West Babylon in a row where they started off very strong.
So that is the story. The West Babylon Eagles soaring over the East Islip Redmen. They lead it 47-20 as they try to go 7-4 in League 3 play. We'll be back. You're watching high school basketball on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can't imagine not doing it. It really helps having the kind of encouragement I've gotten here. It makes Adelphi feel like a small college. But I'm glad it's a big university with lots of courses and career options, because I'm making choices that will affect my whole life. I'm excited about my future. In fact, sometimes I can't wait to graduate. It's sort of like running. Once you get started, you want to see how far you can go.
Adelphi University, a commitment to intellect.
Aloha. I'm Jerry McDougall, and I'm pleased to announce Apple Bank's exciting new sweepstakes, the Apple Aloha Stakes. We're giving away 25 fabulous deluxe vacations for 2 to beautiful Hawaii. Plus, there's 125 valuable runner-up prizes. You'll find entry forms at every Apple Bank branch. So come on in and enter now. The exciting Aloha sweepstakes are open to all. Apple Bank for savings, we're good for you.
There is no kidney bank for people who need kidney transplants. You can't store kidneys that way. So thousands of people depend on regular treatment with kidney machines to keep them alive. And the related expenses can be very costly, but in a way, there is a kidney bank, the American Kidney Fund, a place to find a helping hand with expenses that can be overwhelming. To learn more, call the American Kidney Fund, toll free, 1-800-638-8299.
Let's quickly join Jim Lynch in the WB locker room.
You're not going to get the ball for the whole half. Can you do that? You can do that. It doesn't matter the score. The score right now is 0-0. What matters is pride, not letting your man have the ball, elbows and step over, rotating on defense. All the things that we do, we got to be real good teams, to be a playoff team. But most importantly, it's pride. It's pride. I don't want to ever go out and play sloppy defense, ever. Shots will come and shots will go. We'll make shots, we'll miss shots. But there's no excuse for us not going on the court, always playing first-class West Babylon Eagle defense. Aggressive. Not reaching for balls that are loose, but taking some skin off our floor for them, all right? How many loose balls did they pick up? And boxing out on the defensive boards. East Islip out-rebounded us on the offensive boards for a good stretch of the first half. Okay? And that's not West Babylon pride. Rear ends into people, everybody doing what they're supposed to be doing. But most importantly, if I'm in an area where there's a man, that man is not going to get the basketball. Right? Joey, we talked about, right?
That was Jim Lynch, and we thank him for letting us go in to see what he was talking about at halftime, where his club leads over East Islip by a score of 47-20. Well, rebounds have been a big part of this ball game, and Stan Kellner knows how to teach those rebounds. So let's join Stan Kellner in the huddle.
All right, man, we've got to talk about the boards, okay? Games are won off the boards, okay? Magic now, are we calling it magic because all rebounds are disappearing from our game here, okay? You've got to get the boards. On offense, we got to get the second and third shot. So when a ball is shot, assume that it's a pass to you. Now, I don't want my guards crashing the boards because you got to get back. But we've got to get more action on the boards. You got to want the ball on the boards. You got to want it. Do you want the ball on the boards? Yeah. It's your ball. They're taking it away from you. You got to want that ball, and when you get it, no, don't be tentative. Put it right up again. No ball fakes. Get it right up. It's your game. The trench, 3 feet away from the basket, that's your game, that's your home. No one violates, goes through your home. Okay, so you get the boards. On offense, you got to get the boards too. Be quick on the boards. Every missed shot is a pass to you. Just turn your body, go in there, get a hand in there. If you can't get the ball, can't secure the rebound, knock it up. Just keep it alive. Now, defensively, we're not boxing out. Not everybody has to box out. The guards, all you do is check your man off. But check him off. Just take a look, get the ball. But you must make contact before you get the ball. So here's what you do. The ball is shot. You yell shot. You check your man off. If he's crashing the boards, you get him off, and then you go get the ball. Ball. You've got to get the ball. What do you got to get? Ball. That's not multiple choice, man. This is true or false. Are we going to get the boards or not? Yeah. Are we going to get the boards? Yeah. Okay, I know you're going to get the boards now, but how about 5 minutes down the line when the body gets tired? Will you get the boards then? Yeah. Okay, you're going to get the boards for the next 6 months? The next 20 years? The boards are yours, all right, gang? Let's get in here. Let's rebound. Ready? Rebound. Ready? Rebound! Remember this. It's the second and third shots that win the game on offense. And remember this. You prevent the second or third shot, you're going to win the game. Be a winner. Rebound.
I'll tell you one thing, working with Stan Kellner, yes, he is a winner, and you could be one too by listening to those in the huddles. Now, when we come back, I'll have some more halftime activities right after this timeout. You're watching high school basketball on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Suppose you had a medical emergency. Wouldn't you like to have a friend along to tell the medical team about health conditions you have that would affect their treatment? That friend could be the nonprofit foundation called Medical Alert. A bracelet or necklace tells the medical team important facts about your health, and a phone call provides more detailed information. Medical Alert. When you can't speak for yourself, Medical Alert can make all the difference. Call now, toll free, 1-800-ID-ALERT.
I'll trade my dance in Chautauqua for Hal's painting in Albany.
Done.
But you still need music.
Don't forget museums.
Who is that guy?
The pitcher. What's he doing here? Giving the pitch, darling.
Not darling, McDowell. And here's the pitch.
Call for your free I Love New York Celebration of the Arts brochure.
Say, who's winning this game?
When it comes to the arts in New York State,
everybody wins.
This is Rick Summers for WBLI Radio, enticing you to listen and win $1,000 cash with the WBLI $1,000 song. Listen each weekday morning at 7:15 and 7:45. That's when we'll tell you what the song is. And when we play it back, you can win $1,000. And while you're listening, enjoy more hits per hour as we give you 10 in a row commercial free all day long. The most free money and 10 in a row from Long Island's #1 hit radio, FM 106 WBLI.
My halftime guest is Kip Lucarelli, and Kip, of course, the Harbor Fields lacrosse coach, and lacrosse just around the corner. And Kip, we were just talking about that great ball game that we had here on LISN last spring, and boy, you still get goosebumps thinking about that tough loss to Ward Melville, don't you?
Well, I tell you, every time it's mentioned, the same kind of feelings come back. That was an emotional game. It was a hard-fought game and a long game.
Can you ever remember being in such an emotional and hard-fought game? Do you ever remember a better game than that?
No. I haven't been in a more emotional game than that. And from a standpoint of my kids gave everything they had. And you could see that after the game and how they felt afterwards. But that was just a tremendous game, a tremendously fought game between two great teams. It was a lot of fun to be there.
We were glad to be there. It was great. Now, that was last year. We're just a couple of weeks away before you pull those sticks out of the closet, get the cobwebs off them. You ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready. I'm anxious. For us this year, it's going to be a whole different story. We graduate almost everybody from our team, so I have a lot of younger players, a lot of new kids coming in. So for me, it's going to be a whole different approach. We've got to do a lot of work. We've got to get a lot of preparation in. But again, it's for a coach. It's something that's exciting.
Something exciting, but it's typical of a coach to probably downplay the talent that he has. And then, of course, you're going to be there at the end, right?
Well, you know, I talk like this, and nobody's feeling sorry for me. I talk to the other coaches, and they're like, you know, none of the coaches believe any of the other coaches anyway. So no matter what you say, they all think the same thing. They think we were there last year, we're going to be there again this year, and we're going to do our best. But talent-wise, we're a little bit down. But attitude-wise, we're right there.
Where's the competition going to come from this year, Kip? Who's going to be tough?
Well, I'll tell you, Ward Melville, and I hate to, you know, sound that way like every other coach, but they have, I would say, 3/4 of their team back, a lot of their starters back from this year's championship team. This was a year that they were kind of hoping to be there in the finals, and then they ended up winning it. This is the year I think they're pointing to. They're going to be very tough.
But Joe's going to tell you he has no talent, right? Joe Cuso was speaking.
He's not going to be able to get away with that this year, though.
Who else do you have out there that might be tough? Who do you have to work your way past?
For us personally, in our league, Babylon. They're going to be the small school this year that's going to give a lot of teams a tough time. They had a very good team last year. We were the only team to beat them in our league, and they have everybody coming back. So they're going to be real tough.
As will this gentleman's team, Kip Lucarelli, Harbor Fields. Good luck this year, and maybe we'll see you down the road. Maybe another exciting game like we had last year. Kip, best of luck.
I'd like to be there.
He probably will, too. And stay tuned, because Barry and Stan will be back with the second half action following this timeout. You're watching high school basketball on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network, bringing home winning moments.
Thanks to Marsh's, there's going to be a lot of lucky guys around. For example, this 42 long guy. He's going to need a 42 long suit. Lucky him, Marsh's is having a sale. Maybe someone will need another sweater. Lucky him, Marsh's is having a sale. How about a bigger blazer? You lucky guys better hurry, or your luck will run out. Marsh's is having a sale. Marsh's Men's and Boys Shop, Huntington Village.
Welcome to the News 12 Long Island newsroom. These are the people who work around the clock, 7 days a week, to bring news home to you. These are the people you can count on. Channel 12, the news, on the air, on the job, 24 hours every day.
News 12, sponsored locally by the Coral House Restaurant in Baldwin.
West Babylon is leading 47-20 over East Islip as we check the halftime statistics, Dan, and I guess pretty revealing.
21% from the floor for East Islip. That is atrocious. Not too many. And look at the 4 for 5 from the three-point area for West Babylon. I mean that's Steve. I mean that's got to be Mike Spinella doing a job out there. He's going to be a factor in the playoffs, perhaps. But look at the rebounds, 29 to 20. But most of those rebounds by East Islip were their own rebounds and missed shots.
Individually, Brooks, Rogendorf, and Bowden accounting for 17 of the 20 points. And on the other side, balanced scoring as West Babylon had 14 points. That player is incorrect. They had the wrong names up there. But West Babylon had 11 points from Spinella to lead the scoring and 12 points from Kyle.
I think we're being tested here.
All right, a lot of balance there. Davin Miles. Michael Brooks comes up with a steal, but we have a whistle and a foul call. Let's give you that again. Here we go. All right, Kyle's with 12, Spinella with 11. And they had a lot of balance there. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players with 4 points apiece. Interesting to note, Miles, who's one of their leading scorers, and Brennan, who's one of their leading scorers, they average about 27 points between them. They had only a total of 5 in the first half, yet they're winning by 27.
The reason for that is, well, they're shooting with surely more confidence, but the other 4 guys are very active going to the glass, and because they want to get a piece of the action tonight. So what you got right now is West Babylon leading the game in activity.
If you're Ray Montero, what do you look for here in the second half to salvage? You got one more league game after this. Obviously, it's almost impossible to come back. You're 27 down. What are you looking for here?
Character. Defensive character. To get into that squat position and start playing the ball with pressure, boxing out, helping each other out. But on offense, what they got to do is help each other out. There's always got to be somebody posting up. Right now, you'll see the Eagles playing a 2-3 zone. They'll be back and very passively playing defense.
Brooks bat out to Bowden for 3. Michael Brooks has the rebound. 30 seconds gone, third quarter. Bowden throws it away. He tried to get it to Keith Smith, and the pass off the mark. And West Babylon will unbound. Bobby Aquino is number 25. Number 13 is Mike Spinella. Had a superb first half, 11 points. And this is Mike Brennan, had only 3. And as he tried to get it to Billy Kiles, it was knocked out of bounds. It will be Eagle ball. Aquino, another player who is a real solid player. Mike Brennan blocked. Nice rejection by Glenn Ferrer. Would not drop for Keith Smith. And Brennan on the fast break for the Eagles. Nice pass off to Billy Kiles. And Kiles, the leading scorer in the ball game, with 14.
Kiles filled that right lane. He runs the court very well.
Plays bigger than 6'1", Billy Kiles. And he's going to have to do some good things for West Babylon to be competitive in the A tournament, which will be getting underway in a couple of weeks. A victory today will just about clinch a spot for West Babylon. They'll be 3rd in the league. Turnaround shot drops for Keith Smith, and it's 49-22. 5 points for Smith, 6'4" junior. Brennan on a pretty drive.
It's good to see Brennan still going to the basket. He had a shot blocked on a previous possession. But what's good about Brennan is he makes other people go hard to the basket.
Brooks trying to get it to Farrar. Knocked around and recovered now by West Babylon's Mike Spinella. Nice change of direction dribble.
Jimmy Lynch's teams are always well coached, play very hard. They always go to the basket. Now with the three-pointer, it's a new wrinkle in the offense, but they've always gone hard to the basket and they play tough D.
Brennan missing, back the other way. Brooks missing. And Brennan will push it up. 3 on 2. Oh, Davin Miles said, what, the ball?
Yeah, he said doesn't even seem to be in the game. He's so unemotional there. A good thing.
Against Huntington, the club that they lost by a point to, a big ball game. He had 18 points and 13 rebounds in that 1-point loss to Huntington.
I think he's put a lot of high expectations on himself, and he may be, giving too much effort out there in terms of trying, but he's just got to relax and just make things happen with his strong body.
Ball will stay in the hands of the Redmen of East Islip. We'll get a substitution. Joe Walton will be back in the ball game. Walton, the 6'3", an 85-pound sophomore, averaging 5 points as you see the East Islip cheerleaders who come over here to Northport High School to cheer their club on.
You talk about effort. I mean, they stay in this ball game with enthusiasm no matter what happens on the court. They're behind their team.
Walton missing, but traveling called on Davin Miles as he tried to bring it up. So the big 6'6", 220-pound junior stand, like you said, really not in this ball game.
Well, you know, he's so imposing. He's got a real tough look about him, and he's the kind of guy you pick first on when you play in the playground, just for intimidation alone.
Ferrer missing. Walton count the basket, and he was fouled. So one of the things they want him to get a little more aggressive, and Joe Walton, who's missed a couple of layups, puts it in. And it's now 53-24.
You just remember Joe Walton. And Joe Walton, you just remember your sophomore year because you're going to be a player. Yeah, he's 6'3", 185 pounds, athletic family. And not bad numbers for a sophomore. 5 points, 4 rebounds. Not as aggressive, will become aggressive when he realizes when he's 6'4", 6'5". He's going to be a factor in this Islip program.
Did a good job as quarterback on the East Islip football team for South Champion. He'll be back for 2 more years. East Islip with Champy back coaching. Here's Ray McKenna, number 23. Spinella. Aquano. Well, I like the way the Eagles move, Stan, without the ball.
Right, and when they get the ball, they face to the basket and challenge the basket.
Well, I'll tell you, Michael Brooks is not afraid to put the ball up. I don't think he has passed too often when he's come down.
We call that an only child syndrome. Looks like we'll get another letter from a parent.
Aquano back, getting a little sloppy out here as Joe Walton pulls it down. 28-point lead for West Babylon's Eagles. East Islip hasn't quit. They're playing tough. Farrar. Nice bounce pass from Brooks that time. Just as we said we hadn't seen him pass, he made a nice pass.
Shakespeare said it so right when he said the play is the thing. Just play. Stop thinking.
Brennan in the corner. Strong baseline move, and he's got it. Good first step.
He certainly, and he went against a sloughing man-to-man or a zone principle in there, and he went to the basket. He was allowed to get to the basket, and that is an absolutely violation, defensive violation.
Brennan with 7 points. Brooks again missing.
Look, you're going to see Brennan go back. He's going to drive around 1 red shirt, 2 red shirt. And there should have been support on the baseline when you get 2 dribbles on the baseline. He goes hard to the basket. And he's the kind of kid that'll miss 2 or 3 or even get shots blocked and keep on going to the basket.
Kip Rogendorf, number 33, was the man that he was able to get around on the second effort. Rogendorf did not cut him off after he got by initially Michael Brooks. So Rogendorf will trigger in. East Islip with the ball. Matt Whitehouse, number 35 in the ball game. Brooks. Rogendorf battling a couple of white shirts, and on the alternate possession, the ball stays in the hands of the Redmen.
You see Joe Moore step to the ball. There is Joe Moore right there, and that's the difference in defenses. Joe Moore stepping hard to the ball, stopping penetration.
Davin Miles back in as Mike Brennan sits down. Joe Moore recovering the loose ball, and the Eagles leading 55-27, so they've doubled the score. Davin Miles pulling up, and he's got a nice touch at the baseline. So Miles, who had only 2 points in the first half, now with 6. Brennan, who had only 3 in the first half, now with 7. Brooks, good pass, nice fake inside, and the bucket for Scott Gazzola, his first 5'11", 170-pound junior, averaging 4 points. A football player. He's a defensive back, Stan.
He can shoot, though, and he's got to look for a shot.
Oh, looked like Moore traveled. Hoban missing. Moore back up. He'll try again. And he's got it. Count the basket. He was fouled.
Well, that was second and third effort inside by Mr. Moore. See what he did earlier on defense? You play good defense. If you're an athlete out there and watching this game, you play good defense. You get on the offensive end and opportunities will come your way. Be prepared, young man, but play defense, and that's what Mr. Moore does.
I'll tell you, he's a force coming off the bench, Joe Moore.
Look at that energy, that arm ring raised up. He's into it. Looks a little bit like Shelton Jones facially.
Yeah, Stan, a good point. He hits the free throw. And Joe Moore so far in the evening with 6 points after making a 3-pointer. 2.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Keith Smith. Miles using that big body to box out. Mike Spinella. Joe Moore, nice pass to Davin Miles, blocked from behind. Nice play by Brooks that time.
Inside, you see the big guy just not protecting the ball on his shot.
Michael Brooks all the way with the left-hand shot, and he was fouled. So this young man, who is a baseball player, will step to the line. He's a 60% free throw shooter, fouled on the drive. And we'll get a substitution. Tommy Hoban, or rather Timmy Hoban, number 43, will sit down. There's a look at Timmy, who scored 4 points. And also checking out of the ball game will be Mike Spinella, as he's replaced by Sal Vitiello, number 31. So Jimmy Lynch using everybody. He's got the big lead here, and it's a chance for all the kids to get a little TV exposure. Also back in, number 55, Al DeViti, the big guy at 6'7".
See, he's shooting the ball over for, on the right side of the foul line, Mike Brooks is. And what he's doing is trying to get a better angle, what he thinks is a better angle to the basket. He doesn't want to see the backboard.
Under 2 minutes to go. East Islip gives it back. This is Sal Vitiello driving all the way for the layup.
Yeah, big guy, number 31, going to the basket.
5'9", Sal Vitiello. Walton in traffic. Can they save it? No.
Take a look at Sal Vitiello going to the basket on the right side. He smells basket all the way. He's going to the iron, to the glass, to the hole, to the basket, and kissing it off the glass.
Fundamentals this West Babylon team does very well, Stan, and that's, I guess, the coaching of Jimmy Lynch.
Well, Jim works a lot in that the gymnasium, and helping him, as I mentioned before, it was Frank Taplin. Taplin, former coach over there, he's in charge of the head game in there.
I'll tell you, Davin Miles can stick that jump shot. On a few college teams, he's only a junior. He can hit that shot consistently, play tough inside. Division II teams are going to like that.
He's built like Wes Unseld, isn't he?
Yep. And we have a foul against the Eagles. Now another substitution for West Babylon. Ray Brown, number 21, comes in, and sitting down will be Steve McKenna. So again, Jimmy Lynch alternating players. Stan, Jimmy Lynch had a county championship ball club just about 10 years ago, I think back in 1978. And he's had some good ball players over the years.
Had some good sons, too. His oldest son, Chris, is a football player at Hofstra, now playing there. His daughter, Debbie, is all-county player. She's playing up in Oneonta.
Good family, nice people. DeViti with the block.
We spoke about Timmy earlier. He's leading Islip. What a nice comeback they've had this year.
Yeah, they were 6-4 at last report. Traveling on Joe Moore. Boy, he plays with a lot of intensity, Joe Moore.
Yeah, he's exciting. Yep. He picks everybody up a level. Well, you know, you just can't come in and have an easy workout with Moore in there. He's just going to play hard, so I got to play hard if he plays hard.
I'll tell you that. West Babylon, North Babylon, Babylon Village area, some great basketball players have been produced in that area.
Outstanding coaches in that area, too. Roy Coble.
Of course, former coach at Babylon. Greg Walsh was over at Babylon a while.
In fact, their sons plays on Jerry Smith's team this year.
West Islip, and we'll see West Islip later on. 48 seconds to go here in the third quarter. It's been all West Babylon. They led 16-6 at the quarter, as we see another player coming in for East Islip. And checking into the ball game, number 32. We'll pick it up for you in a moment. And that is one of the brothers, Ward Tucker, number 32, 5'9", senior. And we got a foul called. So Ward Tucker, whose brother Scott is a junior in the ball game. So everybody getting in, a little TV time. And the big kid who we talked about being a project will go to the line. 6'7", 190-pound senior Al DeViti.
He's only played 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year basketball. Well, that's not true. I mean, he's played basketball before, but 1 year of organized basketball. And, you know, there's a lot of pressure. Excuse me, a lot of pressure on a young man like that coming into a game. He's got to think his game right now. He's still not playing his game.
Hoban hammered by Kip Rogendorf as he got the rebound. That'll be a two-shot foul, as we'll get another substitution for East Islip. Jason Bond, number 44, in. 6'3", 155-pound junior. There he is, who's a fine defensive player. 6'3", as we said, junior. And at the free throw line, a guy who battles on the boards pretty good, Timmy Hoban.
boxes out. Tough kid. A lot of these West Babylon players very similar, Stan. About 6'1", 6'2", 175, awfully tough.
And how they develop that toughness is the fact that Jimmy Lynch spends so much time on defense. He spends at least half of his practices on defense.
They give up only 56 points a ball game, and I will tell you they've been scoring a lot of points lately, coming off that big win over Belport, 88-59. Boy, Belport's fallen on some hard times. Here's Brown losing the ball, knocked out of bounds, and we may have a foul on Matt Whitehouse. Stan, you talk about teams struggling. How about Bayshore, perennial top team? They are 1-10 this year.
Well, the reason, the problem over at Bayshore is they just don't have the stars anymore. You know, they're just not playing together over there. They're 1-10, as you said, and but you can't count out that Brentwood. You know, there are pockets of programs like Brentwood and Bayshore. They'll be down 1 year, but you can count on them coming back.
Well, I'll tell you, a club that has stayed on top, John Glenn. They're playing this afternoon right down the block here on Elwood Road against Harborfield's a natural rival. Glenn 10-0, defending B champion. And I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to seeing their club later, Stan. Do you think they're going to take the Bees? What about Riverhead's chances of beating them? As we see the shot put up and in from outside by Scott Gazzola to make it 69-30.
Steve Paskowitz over at Riverhead he's gotten a real championship season this year. I think he could be a real long shot out there, but maybe not that much of a long shot.
And the third quarter comes to an end, so we'll be back. Jimmy Lynch's ball club leading 69-31, a 38-point lead. They won by 40 the last time they played, and you're watching high school basketball on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Jerry McDougall, chairman of the board of the Apple Bank for Savings. To celebrate our 125th anniversary, we're offering high rates on CDs plus top quality gifts. Look at all you get. Your choice of valuable gifts is an additional dividend on our high-rate CDs. Come in or call for more information, but make sure you take advantage of this special offer. Apple Bank for Savings, we're good for you.
This is Rick Summers for WBLI Radio, enticing you to listen and win $1,000 cash with the WBLI $1,000 song. Listen each weekday morning at 7:15 and 7:45. That's when we'll tell you what the song is, and when we play it back, you can win $1,000. And while you're listening, enjoy more hits per hour as we give you 10 in a row commercial-free all day long. The most free money and 10 in a row from Long Island's #1 hit radio, FM 106 WBLI.
Well, here's a great opportunity for those of you who love sports and would like to earn some extra money. Nassau and Suffolk are looking for men and women who want to learn to officiate high school and junior high school athletic contests. In Suffolk, call 751-2221. And in Nassau, call 333-0560. Information will be forwarded to you for these sports. Be a paid official. It's a great way to get involved. Right now, the West Babylon Eagles cruising here with a 69-31 lead off the turnover. Brooks missing. Ray Brown, the rebound. Taken away by Brooks. He must have about 25 shots this game, Brooks, as he goes back up again.
Well, he's earning his baskets. He's at least his shots. He's going to the basket. He's going very hard. He's not shy of putting the ball on the floor. But look at that shooting percentage. I think Ray Montero will never complain again when his team shoots 35%.
Well, they shoot 32, and Michael Brooks at the line, averaging 8.5 points a ball game.
See the angle from the right side, Barry? He's shooting the ball from the right side of the foul line.
He has 7 points. He'll get another free throw after missing. He's 3 for 9 at the line. Boy, that kind of typifies the night it's been for East Islip, Stan.
It's been a tough night for Ray.
So West Babylon with the basketball. This is the next to last league game for both clubs. The playoffs will be starting in a couple of weeks. Hoban and Brooks, who seems to be around the basketball.
Yes, he is. He's earning the basketball. He's going out and hustling for it, and he hasn't quit.
Bowden inside to Walton. He'll power up a baby hook and draw the foul. So Walton, who can shoot, just lacks experience and a young man that they're going to be working with, and power and post-up moves. He can block shots. He's a good athlete, as we said.
He's a good athlete, but you can't become a basketball player seasonally. You really got to put your time in. He probably goes to football camps and things like that. But if he went to a basketball camp, not that the camp would turn his game around, but the motivation or the interest would be there.
Stan, interestingly enough, I think Joe Walton's more concerned with his academics. He's a fine student. And I think maybe, I don't know whether coaches with sons who are athletes, they want their sons to hit the books.
Oh, they certainly do. I mean, but really, you don't make anybody do something they don't want to do. If he's hitting the books, then Joe is doing it on his own. I mean, you know, you can motivate him. You know, you have 3 children yourself, and I have 3, and they're distinctively different. I mean, same parents, but 3 children are different.
The Eagles on the run here. Hoban for the layup. 71 to 32 as the fans enjoy it from West Babylon.
That was a nice 3-pass, fast break.
Rogendorf. Walton fakes, and it would not drop. Brooks underneath, and the ball hit off the support. And we'll take a look at a replay coming up here, and a nice play underneath. Nice pass.
The ball's in the corner there, and number 31 could have gone to the basket and
Sal
scored
Vitiello.
himself. Yeah, but he drops the ball off to his teammate, Timmy Hoban.
So a 3-point basket by Steve Bowden, now with 7 points at 71-35. DeViti to Vitiello, lost the ball, but out of bounds off of East Islip. 6:40 to go here in the 4th quarter. We've got a good basketball game coming up. West Islip and Northport, and then for you Nassau County basketball fans, our next doubleheader. We'll tell you about it in a moment as Vitiello hits for 3.
Oh, he just took that and just looked at that rim. But the key in shooting that 3-pointer or any shot is getting eye contact with the rim before the arm extends. You can shoot at the same motion, but eye contact for the shooter, the good shooter, is first.
Inside, Rogendorf scores for East Islip. Rogendorf averaging 8.8 a game, about 9 a game, comes up with a bucket.
He had to make a major contribution today, Kip did, and he just didn't get the ball early enough. He had an opportunities to shoot and convert early, and he just didn't make it.
Well, they got a lot of shots in that first quarter, Stan. They were only down 16-6 at the quarter, but that second quarter, a disaster. They were outscored 31-14. 31 points in an 8-minute quarter. That's 3 points per minute.
Yeah, and Jimmy Lynch, did you see him at
4
halftime?
points a minute.
Jimmy Lynch, you say 5 points, I believe it. I'm not good on numbers. All I know is I listened to Jimmy Lynch at halftime, and he was on his team like, well, they were behind by 30 points. And you don't really worry about a score if you're coaching. You never let coaches, good coaches, never consider the score clock. They coach the game.
We'll be right back. You're watching high school basketball on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Jerry McDougall. We're celebrating the opening of 3 new Apple Bank branches with exciting offers and free gifts. Come join the celebration at our new Ronkonkoma office on Veterans Highway. Open a new savings account with $1,000 or more, and this cuddly puppy bank is yours. Open a new CD and receive a high rate plus one of these valuable gifts. Remember, Apple's got it all, and it's all for you. Apple Bank for savings, we're good for you.
Balanced scoring for the West Babylon Eagles as the East Islip cheerleaders haven't lost any of their pizzazz. Lovely group of young ladies as you look at the Eagles gathered around Coach Jimmy Lynch. Looking at their scoring, Mike Brennan has 7. Billy Kiles has 14, only 2 here in the second half. Bobby Aquano with 4. Davin Miles with 9. Mike Spinella with 11, all in the first half. Sal Vitiello, 7 points off the bench. And other scorers, Timmy Hoban off the bench with 8. Joe Moore off the bench with 6, and Al DeViti with 3 points.
Balanced scoring, and they're still working on defense. Even though they're playing a 2-3 zone or a 3-2 zone, they're coming back and helping each other out.
Here's Brennan back in the ball game. Davin Miles, a little too hard. And Joe Walton with the rebound. Walton getting a lot of playing time, the sophomore now. Bowden pulling up. Aquano with the rebound. Bobby Aquano, excellent shooter, baseball pitcher, long arms, really good defensive player. Hasn't figured too prominently in today's game. Here's Bowden. off the turnover. His club trailing 74-37. Rogendorf fighting for the rebound. So Kip Rogendorf with 10 points. He's the first player in double figures for East Islip. They have no players who average in double figures. They average only 48 points a ball game. Bowden recovering in the backcourt. Scooped up by Brooks. And he was fouled.
I think he wanted to go 360 on the shot, but he just ran out of airtime. And he came down and he just flipped it in 180. There's, you can see Michael Brooks going inside, and then he's going to go up, and gravity brings him down.
Well, he had Brennan off his feet, just off balance. So Michael Brooks, who's really struggled from the line, he's gone to the line a lot so far tonight. I think 3 for 10, and now 4 for 11. We'll get a substitution. Keith Smith will come in for Joe Walton. There's Keith, averaging 8.5 points a game. Lacks confidence, Dan. Gets a little excited, Keith. But a kid who they think is going to have some potential. He's 6'4", 165.
He's that junior, played ball last year as a sophomore. Next year he'll be a senior. Really think about this team. Rogendorf is big. Certainly Walton is going to be back, only bigger and strong. He's certainly not going to shrink. And Keith Smith, that's a nice front line. You just got to get some guys that play basketball.
Right. There's a guy who plays, Brennan, and so is Davin Miles. 76-41, Miles with 11.
I like the way Davin Miles runs back. It's sort of like, excuse me, sorry.
Joe Moore, nice pass to Aquano. Unselfish pass, the layup for Brennan.
Unselfish is right. And that's typical of Jimmy Lynch coach ball club.
Timeout for East Islip. They trail 78-41 with 4:34 to go. Listen, watch this classic fast break.
Oh, there's the pitch out by Moore. Inside, and a little drop pass underneath the basket, filling the lane. And there is number 33, Mike Brennan, doing what he loves to do, is go to the glass.
So, a big victory here, just about cinched for West Babylon, as they'll improve their record to 13-6 and 7-4 in League 3 competition. Then we talked about the A schools. Any Cinderella clubs that you see? You said for the first time North Babylon doesn't go in as the favorite this year as they have in the past few years. Huntington nearly beat them last year. What about Sachem, Connecticut? Could they be surprised?
Well, maybe Copeg. Okay, Sachem undefeated, Huntington undefeated. Now, when you go into the playoffs and you're undefeated, you haven't had a loss in a long time, you haven't caught up, you haven't been behind, and I just think Copeg may have a shot at it.
And speaking of the poll or some of the teams, here's Comstock, ranked number 1 in Suffolk County. Walt Whitman and the rest of the clubs, as you see, Huntington, John Glenn, North Babylon, Connecticut, and that Copeg club you mentioned. Back to the live action, Davin Miles. A little too far under the basket. Keith Smith for East Islip. Should be very interesting, and we'll have a lot of playoff games coming up. Smith. Scott Gazzola hitting from outside. So the junior showing more shooting ability. Lacks confidence in seeking the shot out, but he's got good range, Stan, Scott Gazzola.
Now, he has a nice touch, and he shot that ball up with a beautiful stroke.
Joe Moore looking for 3.
It's always a beautiful stroke when it goes in, though.
Lost by Michael Brooks. And the ball goes over to the Eagles of West Babylon.
We're in the Northport gym, and this is an interesting gym. You know, they had the last set of fan backboards on Long Island here in this gym.
Foul on Keith Smith as he banged with Billy Kyle trying to get the ball. And let's see if they're over the limit. Looks like both teams are in the bonus. So it'll be 1-1. Stan, you had a very exciting game here at one time when you were coaching for Brentwood. Tell us about it.
Back in 1968. It was 2 seconds left in the ball game. This is an interesting ball game, and the person that won that ball game is someone that everybody in this country can see on Friday night, Jack Scalia. Anyway, we're playing a game. Jack was our power forward. We were down by 2 points with 2 seconds left, and they were shooting on a free throw line. A guy by the name of DeGeorge. He missed a free throw. Jack got the rebound. 2 seconds left. Started to come up the court. 1 second. No time left down the clock. We lost the ball game. But DeGeorge fouled Scalia. Scalia knocks in the 1-and-1. We go into overtime, and we win in 5 points in overtime.
Oh, what a day.
This gym. We had to be escorted by police back into the bus.
Tip up and in by Brennan after Billy Kyles made 1 of 2 free throws. So it's 81-44. So Brennan, who had a very cold first half, only 3 points with 11. 8 here in the second, 3-point for Brooks.
Boy, Brooks is going to have to put his arm in ice at the end of this game. He's going to have it rubbed down.
Aquano missing. It'll be interesting, and getting it hit in the face was Billy Kyles, as Bowden brings it back up. 3:09 to go. 3-point attempt here for Bowden, and it's good to make it 81-47. And now we'll have time, an official timeout taken, as Billy Kyles was hit in the face, and we'll get 5 substitutions for the Eagles of West Babylon. As they make wholesale changes, checking back in, Steve McKenna, number 23. Sal Vitiello, number 31, as Billy Kyles checks out his eye there. He got poked in the eye. This is Vitiello. Did a nice job when he was in the third quarter.
You know, the nice thing about this ball game, for both teams, that everyone has been allowed to play and gotten a lot of playing time. You know, they'll get copies of this ball game, and they'll be able to see themselves, show their children, and well, maybe not the East Islip Redmond, but maybe yes.
Keith Smith
going to get in trouble here.
Now in the corner, this is Sean Barron in for the first time, and as the 5'11" sophomore goes toward the hoop, he was fouled. I think he's going to be a player in the future, Stan. String Bean, 5'11", 135-pounder, learning year for him, but they like his future.
Look, everybody puts the ball on the floor for both teams now. Whenever you're this far behind, you're not worrying about making mistakes. You're concerned and having fun about making things happen.
Davidi committed the foul, and Sean Barron in the box score. You can read his name in Newsday tomorrow. East Islip will drop to 2-16, 2-9 in league play.
It's been a learning year for Mr. Barron, the sophomore. But it's important that if you're a sophomore that you get the playing time. Don't sit on a bench if you're a sophomore and not get the playing time. That's no experience. So he's got to get some playing time. Putting the ball in a hole and going to the basket aggressively like that is something he'll long remember.
Michael Brooks sits down. He's got to be tired. At least his arm's tired. We'll get some letters on that, but he is a good kid.
Yeah, let's make up. Let's see if we can get, so we don't have to write any letters of apology.
Vitiello over to McKenna. Three-pointer. Brown stepped on the end line, and the ball goes back to East Islip. Kip Rogendorf will check back into the ball game. Quick check of the scoring for West Babylon. Mike Brennan with 11, Billy Kyles with 15, Davin Miles with 11, Mike Spinella with 11, Sal Vitiello with 7, Bobby Aquano with 4, Timmy Hoban off the bench with 8, Joe Moore off the bench with 6, and Al Davidi with 3 points. So a lot of balance. 9 players, Stan, have all scored.
Everybody getting a piece of the pie.
Rogendorf. And the sophomore going for the ball as he hustles to try to keep it. Sean Barron.
Jimmy Lynch pulled off his press very early, and you know, he knows what it's all about. He's got a feel for the game. He's got a feel for the other team. But this is a young ball club, East Islip, and as you said, 6 juniors, a couple softs, and you know, Joe Walton. If he just works on his skills of his game, he's going to be good.
Sean Barron, who had 2 free throws before, now 3 for 3 at the line. So the sophomore showing good form. Looks like he's going to grow a little, Stan. He's got that long, lean body.
That's right. And those bodies.
They've got to get into Sal Champy's weight room. East Islip has one of the best weight rooms for the football team. And these guys got to get in there. Ray's got to work with Sal. 2:20 to go. Of course, East Islip has a great baseball program. Sal Champy. A lot of valuable playing time for a lot of these reserves for West Babylon, Stan.
Yep, and it's good because they worked hard. You go into the West Babylon gym, and you got Jimmy Lynch and Taplin, and they worked so hard.
Well, they started 4 juniors and 1 senior.
They won the county championship in 1978. That's when they had Rory Glasgow and David Jackson. Yeah. I think David Jackson went to the University of Pennsylvania.
Nice drive by McKenna. Rogendorf with the outlet pass to Bowden.
Jimmy Lynch's team won 36 consecutive league games, 4 league championships.
Oh, hooking it up, nearly traveled. Joe Walton gets the bucket. 6 points for Joe. He's going to be a player, as you said, Stan. He's a very determined young man.
He's built like a basketball player, too. Remember, he's only a sophomore. He may be 15 years old.
Oh, Sal Vitiello throwing up A brick from the corner and nearly dropped. I guess it's garbage time here. Bowden. And look at Walton come up with the rebound. DeViti on the foul. So I'll tell you, this East Islip Club stand was out of the game early, but they have not quit. They have battled and battled and hung pretty tough. They trail 81-53. Here's a look at our Nassau County last regular season doubleheader. It's a dandy. Port Washington against Herricks, and East Meadow against Hicksville, Buddy Ryan's ball club.
My old high school, went to school there, graduated in 1852 or 1752.
You're in the Hall of Fame there, they tell me, Stan.
Yep.
Count the basket for Ray McKenna. And he was fouled.
I feel sorry for the other people in the Hall of Fame. Lost all credibility.
Who else is in that Hicksville Hall of Fame?
A guy by the name of Billy Joel. There he is, 48 years old and 40-inch waist. Jimmy Lynch. I had to make that comment so they can work on him at home.
Look at McKenna.
Yeah, going hard to the basket. Two-hand jump shot.
He's done a fine job, McKenna, coming off the bench. He gets the three-point, and it's 7 points for McKenna. 50 seconds to go. It's a 31-point lead. Last time they played, it was a 40-point victory for West Babylon, 68-28. Here it's 84-53. Walton. Hoban for the rebound. McKenna. Boy, I like the way he goes to the basket. He's like a Brennan type.
He's an athlete, and what you saw was he just ran the post pattern.
He's a football player, defensive specialist, as we mentioned earlier. He held Darren Ward of Huntington to 5 points. Very physical player, as you can see. He's the best one-on-one defender on the club. Look at the legs on that guy, Stan. He's really well built. As Kip Rogendorf, who gave it all, sits down after fouling out.
He plays with pride. That's why you play defense. Defense is attitude.
McKenna,
of course, is attitude too, but defense is really pure attitude.
McKenna sits down with 10 points, his high for the year. And Joe Moore back in the game with 29 seconds to go. Don't forget to stay tuned for our Apple Bank Player of the Game, chatting with Carl Reuter. And also, Stan will have winning coach Jimmy Lynch. Eagles with 20 seconds to go. Moore for three. 89 to make it 90-53. Moore with 9.
That was a flat trajectory.
Working his way inside, Matt Whitehouse, 1 second, and that is it. So the final score is Jimmy Lynch and Ray Montero shake hands, and the assistant coaches as well. 90-55 in favor of West Babylon. Stan, boy, they have been scoring a whole bunch of points. They come off an 88-59 win over Bellport. And now they score 90 points in just 32 minutes.
You know, they almost knocked off Huntington. They could be the dark horse in the playoffs.
All right, we'll be back with our Apple Bank Player of the Game and a chat with the winning coach. There he is, Jimmy Lynch, when we return. You're watching high school basketball on Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can.